Hello everyone, hi guys. Hope all of you are doing good. So today we shall be discussing about some secrets of the moon. And let me remind you that the moon actually represents your emotions and your nature in life. So from your Kundli perspective, how things are actually working, how your emotions are working in this life, these things we can determine from moon. Okay. So first of all, I would like to say that moon in your body on a very physical level represents your water in the body. Okay, and at the same time, it also represents blood. At the same time, it also represents insulin, any type of liquid substance that's actually flowing in your body. Like we can also see, it also represents saliva. So these things are actually represented by moon on a very physical level. On a mental level and on an emotional level, it represents your day-to-day behavior, your short tempers, your reaction towards few things. So I think this video is very great to know all those small things, how actually moon controls your day-to-day activities and all everything. So I will just say that please watch this video to the very last because I have covered moon house wise, though it's a very basic level because you need to know the conjunctions, aspects, nakshatras, padas, nakshatra taras, and even in divisional charts like Navamsa to know the real you, but it's just the beginning. And through this video, I just want to clear that it is just your short tempers and like short reactions, day-to-day reactions, and your day-to-day emotions, how these things can be actually discussed with a kundali. Okay, so let us start and please watch this to the very end. That's what I am like trying to show you because even at last I have put some of my thoughts and tried to show you all that how things can actually improve in your own personal life depending on your placement of moon in any house. Okay, right now we are not covering signs but we are just covering houses, and I think definitely this one is going to be of extreme importance. Okay, first of all, just I am telling you the history of the moon. It is said that Chandra has emerged from the sea of milk at the time of sea churning by Asuras and Devas. He was considered as planet due to its brilliant form and also one of the Navgrahas. It is considered as one of the Devas. Yeah, definitely. Moon is one of the Devas. He is weak minded and married to Tara. Yeah. Moon is weak minded. That's why it represents your emotions in day to day activities. Moon is not your courage, Mars is your courage, and there are different parameters, but moon is always your emotion. The child born out of this relationship is Buddha, Mercury is your intelligence. Once your emotions fades, intelligence comes. So that's the story. Okay, who started hating his father at his birth was the result of deadly sin. In Vedic astrology, Mercury and Moon are considered as rival planets. Okay, we are going to the next slide. So we are going to discuss moon in first house. Okay, we have 12 different houses and we are going to discuss moon in first house. Try to avoid infantile outbursts. Instead, work on your own assertiveness. You do count and there are always ways to assert your own needs without stepping on others' toes. Finding a balance between autonomy and dependence is with what full moon is all about. Your emotions are on your sleeve right now. It is a good time to put forward your needs first, but doing so with respect for others will take you further. Whether you can succeed as a leader is tested right now. So every time moon is in your ascendant, what actually happens is the person is very emotional and he always asks his friends to actually help him out. Okay, he always seeks help. He's a very emotional person, so he has very less tolerance. We can say that he has no tolerance for emotional instabilities in his life. Okay, so he always tries to seek self and he always closes the doors to other people's emotion. He can't actually know what you are emotionally trying to connect to him. Okay, so moon in the first house should always try to actually heal other people and heal himself. It can be through reading books, through reading some good books like Gitas and Vedas, anything like any spiritual book for this matter, anything it can be. So these things come into picture when you are trying to improve the condition of a moon in first house. and it also depends on the sign. But right now, moon in first house, the person is very emotional, very high on intolerance, these things we can say. Okay, so we are going to the second house right now. So moon in the second house, intimacy, issues of power and control, or joint finances may have been a focus for the last 2 weeks. It's time to recognize what makes you comfortable. So like, okay, it means that something is written over here like last 2 weeks. So as we all know, the moon waxes and wanes. So every time moon is in second house, it says that sometimes the joint earning with your sibling, if you are not married, and with your wife, if you are married, will be great, and sometimes it won't be great. So I have written actually this at the time of waning and not at the time of waxing. So uh, when you're not getting something out of your life, you try to get it more and more. Okay, the life of moon in second house is always about wealth. The person wants to earn wealth with the help of his siblings, with the help of his father, with the help of his mother, with the help of his daughter, with the help of his son. He wants to have a joint venture for business, and then somehow wants to make money out of it. Like if you are on a normal basis, I'm saying on a day-to-day level, if someone is with moon in second house is marrying a girl who is not working, so the person is going to make her work. Like it can be for the better or worse, the output, all the outputs that we will get out of that will actually depend on Navamsa chart, because that is the main chart of your wife. Okay, but from here we can say that it's just the beginning. Like I'm just discovering and uncovering some myths over here. So again, we are going to the moon on third house, moon in the third house. So again, this is something written at the time of waning. So I have written like this. The person is very restless. Yeah, third house is house of courage. So every time your emotions goes into the house of courage, what will happen? Definitely the person will have anger spurts. Anytime the person will get angry for no reason at all. Okay, he will always try to find errors in different people. So he will always try to find and uncover things and personalities, true personalities of his friends. So he won't believe easily. He will always have some power issues with his friends, and he will always try to uncover some shades of personality about his friends so that he can use those things for his own advantages. If the third house moon is waning, for suppose it is like it is getting brighter and the person is born at that time, it means that the person will try to know the personality of his friends in order to help them. But at the time of waxing, we can say that definitely the person will won't help he won't help the friends, and he will try to uncover the personality states of his friends in order to get benefit out of it. So these things are there. So moon in the fourth house. What fourth house represents? Fourth house represents your convenience at home. Okay, your mother, connection with your mother, your emotional stability in the four walls of your home actually. So four house is all about the conveniences that you get from your home, from your parents, okay, from the land that you get in inheritance. It also represents the building, the houses, and everything you are getting in inheritance. It also represents the convenience you have, the type of car you have. So every time the moon is in fourth house, person tries to get these things, and when the person has these things, he will be mentally happy. So one of the most important things I wanted to let you guys know, that wherever in your chart moon is placed, okay, wherever in your chart, you will once in your life, you will definitely cry for those things. You will shed your tears, only then things will work out in a positive manner. Like it's one of the karmic backlogs of moon. Like moon in your first chart, you have to work on your own mental stability. Someone probably might leave you, and then you will cry a lot, and then you will try to improve. Moon in second house is like your wife doesn't wants to work and you wants to work and want her to work actually. Yeah, so you all try to convince each other for your own benefits, but at the same time you have to cry, you have to actually plead, you have to weep in front of her. This is your karmic backlog. So at the same time, moon third house, you have to weep once, you have to actually lose once from your friends, and then you will try somehow to win over your friends. Okay, It's just like moon waxes and wanes. So whenever moon is weak in your early days, so it happens like that. In more in your fourth house, you will cry for your own home. You want to be able to get your own home. Okay, every time you will try to purchase a property, or every time you will have a car, you might have a dent in your car very soon. Or Saturn in the fourth house, the dent is for sure. You will always have a dent in your any new car you purchase. You will have a dent within 6 months. Okay, so these things are happening. Moon in the fifth house. Fifth house represents our creative individuals, like how creative you are as a person. So again, how much goal you have in your life regarding pursuing your hobbies and creative interests. So these things are actually defined. Moon in the fifth house, you can actually go through it. I have just written. Okay, so you can go through all these, and I'm just telling whatever I'm getting. Like, I'm not reading it. I definitely know these things from last 10 years. So moon in the fifth house, it means these all things, like how your heart actually tries to be passionate in love, and all these things are actually represented by fifth house. And moon is your emotions. Whenever your emotions goes into that, what actually happens? You actually crave for your love. So you will, in this lifetime, you will cry multiple times or few times for your love, for sure. And then you will try to impose certain restrictions on your own personality, and then try to come out of it. Okay, this is your karmic backlog. This will happen for sure. So moon is the sixth house. Sixth house is the house of competition. We all know sixth house is the house of day-to-day work. And moon's placement over here is not good, because people will try to get a lot out of you sometimes. You have to overwork at your workplace, and you are a type of person who actually loves overworking. Like you are a workaholic guy. You actually wants to win over your peers in order to get that special reward from your boss, that special recognition at your team, at your company, in your team. Yeah. So those things are really very important over here. Moon in the sixth house represents that the person will work with whole emotions, with whole heart, in order to achieve something in life. It can be reward, it can be salary increase, it can be anything, any damn thing. But the person is definitely going to work with his whole heart. Okay, we are going to the moon in seventh house. I'm just covering things fast because I want to make this video a little short. It actually becomes really very long. And after 3 to 4 years, like if I will be making that time in YouTube videos, then definitely moon house wise I will cover everything. So seventh house is the house of marriage, is the house of businesses, your business partnerships, your legal partnership. So this moon in seventh house, the person wants to marry very soon. He will be a very loving husband. Whatever the wife or whatever the guy, like it works in both the manner. So whatever his wife will tell him to do, he will definitely do. He will go against his parents if the whims of his wife are different. Okay, and he will cry because he won't be able to fulfill some of the needs of his wife. They can be anything, but he wants to be a person who wants to give a lot of love to his better half. Yeah. Moon in seventh house. Yeah, his whole emotions of this life will be actually, seventh house will be the centric focus of those all activities. He will do a lot of things for his wife, but still he has to cry for something related to his own wife. So much depends on the waning and waxing positions of the moon, in which sign it is placed, in which nakshatras these placements are, in which nakshatra pada the moon is placed. These things are there. So moon in the eighth house right now. Yeah, eighth house represents death. It also represents things that you can't see. So the moon in eighth house is one of the worst combinations to have in Kundli. Even specifically, it becomes worse when Rahu and Moon are situated together, or Saturn is aspecting Moon, and there is a 100% drishti, or through Gemini we can say there is a 100% sign aspect of Scorpio or Aquarius. It becomes actually more scaring. So Moon in 8th house, if it is in good placement, the person will actually earn a lot of wealth through doing bad things, worse things in the society. He will try to destroy the society and try to gain money out of it. But if the moon is there, like if the moon is in bad positions, the person will experience hallucinations. The person will see ghosts in this life, or the person will meet people who will be like this type of like ghost-minded people, or like people will actually bitch about this person. There will be a lot of backbiting. That is really bad to have. And a lot of things will go in his mind. He will always keep thinking about yoga, spirituality, but he won't get anything out of it. He will always try to find fourth dimensional living objects like bhoot, pret, atma, these all things he will try to actually find, but definitely he won't be able to find any type of gods, because very few people can actually see it, and you need to have some specific combinations for the same. You can't actually go over there and just try to get things, right? So these things are happening whenever moon is in 8th house, moon in 9th house. So 9th house represents your higher learning, your PhD and master's degree for sure. It also represents your bent towards spiritual and philosophical principles about life. What are the firm grounds on which you stand philosophically? So what are your ifs and buts, whatsoever are your muts, these things are actually defined by 9th house. So every time the moon is in 9th house, it means that the person, so spiritual belief suffers. Sometimes it wanes, sometimes waxes like moon. Okay, it means that the person is like not very much into spirituality and philosophy. He will try to learn philosophy, but he won't be able to practice in day-to-day life. He will read a lot of books, but every time he will try to practice, he might shed tears. Okay, these things are actually happening on a very ground level. He will try. Ninth house is also of pilgrimage. Okay, it's also called the house of traveling. Like third and the 9th house, both are the houses of traveling. Third house represents short journeys. 9th house represents long journeys. Okay, so the person has a huge wish and he has a huge desire to travel around and meet people of different origins and interact with them. So he will be a country traveler or a city traveler or a world traveler, depends on his financial conditions. Okay, so we are going to the moon in 10th house. So 10th house is all about your professional pursuits. 10th house is all about your professional pursuits. So it means that every time moon is in your 10th house, it just means that you will cry for your profession. You won't get the reward, someone else will get the reward, and you will work very hard emotionally to get that reward, and you might fail. But it also depends on your positions of the moon, in as in like which nakshatra it is placed. If it is placed in nakshatras like Rohini and in 10th house, it actually becomes a great combination. You will cry for sure, but at the same time you will have a huge wealth, dude. You will have a huge wealth. That is something really very important. Nakshatra's placements actually become very important nowadays. You must see in which nakshatra and in which signs and in which houses, and the aspects and conjunctions. Everything is very important, and this is just a part of it. But one thing is for sure: no matter how much this person gets in life, he will always try to get more and more in his professional pursuits. No matter what, like even if he earns around 35 lakhs, 30 lakhs, or 40 lakhs in India, he will always be at a worse state professionally. Okay, he will never be satisfied. If the moon is waning, it actually becomes very worse. And in the moon is waxing, or like I'm trying to say, if the moon is like on a positive note, if the moon is placed in good signs like Leo, in good degrees and in good nakshatras, the person will actually work very hard emotionally to be very confident, to come out as one of the confident guys in his company. That is something really very important nowadays in corporates, because there are a lot of things actually that happen behind our back, and we are not able to know those all things, right? So these things are actually very important. Moon in 11th house. So what 11th house means? Yeah, 11th house means the house of desires. Okay. The house of desires, the house of your incoming goals, incoming wish fulfillments, incoming wealth. So every time there is moon, it is one of the worst positions to have. How can you have a fluctuated earning? The person will earn 1 month 40,000, and again, if he's not in a very good corporate world, and if he's doing some business, so 1 month he will earn around 40,000, and the next month he will earn around 8,000. These things are actually happening over there. So it actually becomes very worse for business. And every time you see a moon in 11th house, just try to advise the person that try to do any sort of career work related to job or service. He should work in a company, any company, even if it is small, let it be. But moon in 11th house should not be doing businesses if just listen to the word if. There is no positive aspect, The nakshatras are weak. The nakshatras padas are not good. The stars are not good. From the stars, I mean there are certain stars in each nakshatra that is really very bright, and if moon comes in contact, it actually illuminates a lot. Okay, so in such a condition, the things will be reduced, but he will cry definitely for his friends. He won't have a lot of friends, but he will have a lot of wealth. And due to his fluctuating emotions, in trying to connect and build rapport with wrong people, people who will come to his life may be very wrong. If there are no aspects of good planets like Mercury, no, Mercury is the enemy, like Jupiter or like Sun, if there is no aspect of those all good planets or Venus, then he won't have very good friend circle. He will die for that, but he won't get it. So I'm just telling the basics right now. Okay. So again, this is the last one, Moon 12th house. 12th house represents again asylum. It represents the policemen working and dragging people in courts, the policemen who are actually serving people in jails. So moon in 12th house, if it is weak, it can actually land people in jails. But on a very normal level, it means that the mind of the person is not in the right direction. It is very wrong. The person always thinks very wrong. The mind is not in a well structured format. This type of people have a lot of problems in their childhood. Their parents actually die at a very young age, and there is no one to guide them, or they just want to rebel against the whole society because of the wrongdoings that has actually happened with them. So these things are actually very important to acknowledge, and actually we should be kind to those type of people. But what is happening, just because of no mentor to guide them, no mentor to show them the life path, these people actually, these guys actually become very worse with age as they grow up. They have very inhibiting tendencies towards people. They just hate everyone. Okay, moon in the 12th house, if there are no positive aspects, I'm telling you. With the positive aspects, it says that the person will sleep a lot. He wants to sleep a lot. But anyways, moon in this house is not good, because your emotions can't be in such a house, dude. So try to understand these all things. So I was just trying to uncover some of the myths, and I just wanted to let you know, guys, how actually moon actually works in day-to-day life, and how, like, you should be like, if you are reading a kundli, you should be able to know the mental state of the person. So these things actually become very important when you try to choose a life partner or your valentine, and you just want to know the person. Okay, the placement of the moon actually represents your emotional behavior in day-to-day life. Okay, so these things are actually very important. Thanks for watching this video. Kindly hit the like button and kindly subscribe to this channel if you feel like subscribing it. Just my request, because it takes a lot of effort to make any PowerPoint presentation and then present in front of you. So I have been doing it from last 8 to 10 years now, and I hope you enjoy this video, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Kindly like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want more videos. Within a week, I will be coming with a few more videos regarding wealthiest nakshatras. There are few planets and few nakshatras combination. If those happen in one go, so the person actually becomes very rich in life. The person has a huge drive. So I shall be uncovering those all things in my next video. So for that time, goodbye, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you, guys.